There, finally. Fucking holy shit. Previews, 3 minutes. Live, am I live? Let's go to Twitch. This is gonna be so fucking fun, man, dude. Flying off. Fun, man, dude. Oh, there we go. Is that on speaking? Am I moving? Or... Flying off. Fun, man, dude. Alright. There we go. Looks like I'm moving pretty well. Alright. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties as always. I believe, I'm trying to remember what I was actually in the middle of saying when it froze. I was saying something about how I get hate online all the time, and like I believe people were literally telling me that I should get DMCA'd because I'm just stealing and I'm nothing but a dirty thief.
So much. And actually, the answer is pretty simple if I'm going to be honest. Everybody wants to be a millionaire who gets to indulge in their hobbies and sit at home.
And straight up, yeah, that's it. Everyone wants to do that nonstop. They just want to sit at home, watch YouTube videos, and just do that all day long and get paid. And like honestly, you can if you put enough work into it.
Really, really honest, I think anybody who would say that they don't think that's an ideal way to live is either A, just a genuinely, private person who wants to have a very normal, very quiet life.
The first one is very, very okay to have. Like, you're perfectly okay if you want to just live a normal, quiet life and you don't want to be famous and you don't want to sit all day and be on camera and have to talk nonstop while watching videos. Like, honestly, because, like, talking nonstop is exhausting on its own. Like, especially if you do it for, like, 5 to 6 hours. It's not as exhausting as, like, working in the kitchen. I literally just did that all day today. And then coming home and doing this on top of it is just as well, it's not just as exhausting. It's as exhausting as it is like talking to an actual customer. The customers fucking suck. But
Or B, you're just supremely jealous and you wish that you could do that, but you don't have the means or the luck to get into the industry. And the reason why I say that to be true is because I used to be a Asmongold hate watcher.
First of
oh wait, for real?
all, I'm a rat.
I first actually started watching.
So he just started watching him just to hate on him nonstop. Honestly, the main reason I started watching Asmongold was because like I saw how dirty his house was, and I learned about how dirty he was in general. And like I'm not exactly the cleanest person, but like watching him was like I guess like the equivalent of like when a girl watches another like watches a fatter person eat a burger in order to feel good about themselves. Like I would just watch him and be like, at least I'm not that dirty, and then I'd start cleaning my room.
Watching Aswin when I was in college and I was going through a pretty rough time, and I just could not believe that this guy with seemingly no merit had this huge following.
Yeah, exactly. I would look at that shit and that'd be my motivation to get up and clean my fucking nest. I need to actually do it now, but it's not as bad as that. It's fucking getting there.
Just doing reaction content, and for a while I honestly like tried my hardest not to watch any of his videos. But there's one thing I can't take from the guy is that he's just a hustler straight up. And I mean, the guy was posting every single day.
Yeah,
I could not get up or
Hustle
go to bed.
has to respect Hustle nonstop. Like he has put in the work. He has like 4 or 5 channels, and he just nonstop just uploads. Has other people edit and upload, and to the point that it's just like a fine oiled machine at this point. And you gotta
not
respect
see one of his videos on
to a certain degree.
And I think at some point I just gave in and I watched one of his videos. And if I got to be completely honest, I actually realized the guy is actually.
The thing is like I ended up finding him from another content creator. It's not even that like I saw him nonstop. I think like the first actual exposure I had was like from a Papa Meat video where like I think it was like one of the Sneeko versus Charlie videos. I think Asmon is like one of the people that's like on the screen talking to Sneeko. I think I'm not 100% sure if that's like a true. I need to go back and actually rewatch it. But then like that was like my only exposure for like the longest time, and then like I was started watching Actman because Actman was doing Diablo content, and like I was started playing Diablo 4 just because like I felt like it, and like it was pretty fun and everything. And then I saw like I was looking up videos about it, and then I saw Actman's channel, and he was talking about how bad it was, and I was like, oh, okay. And like I watched those videos, and I found them pretty entertaining and everything. And like then after I started watching him, he made that React content video, and then after I watched that, that's what like originally actually got me like exposed to watching him in the first place. And like I said, it was mostly just to make my self feel better about not being such a dirty fuck.
Actually pretty intelligent, despite like what people say about him
That
online
also,
and
like I
all the
found
stuff
out
that
like
his chat is saying during his live streams.
some of his takes were like really fucking stupid, and then like other parts were like actually had like sound logic, and like a lot of them also like I genuinely couldn't argue with. Some of them also I would just be like, you're straight wrong.
And I think the thing for me that stuck out the most was the fact that he seemed to be extremely liberal despite his very alt-right chat. And instead of banning these people, he actually gave them a place
He gets a platform based off of just arguing with people on both sides.
to be that was safe on the internet for them to voice their opinions. Now, while I would personally probably ban anybody who was just spamming DEI in my chat anytime they saw a girl or a black person or someone of another race that's not white on screen,
I mean, that's fair for him to do.
He somehow was able to allow these people in his chat. And to Asma's merit, he actually used this to his.
Well, I was going to say, the more people you let in your chat, the more people you have watching you, the more people you have giving you money. It makes sense. Like, sure, they're spreading hate, and, like, that does genuinely suck, but, like, he's also spreading free speech and at the same time profiting off of those people in the first place. So, like, I mean, not only is he giving them a place to spout their stupid shit, but then at the same time, he's making money off of them at the same time.
Benefit, as he's been dubbed the Rat King. Now, before I go further in this video,
or the Roach King, one or the other,
I want to make a huge disclaimer that I do not agree with everything Asman says. I actually think we probably would agree on a lot of things, but there's a lot of things he says that I don't agree with, especially his approaches to very difficult topics, and more recently, the immigration stuff that's been going on.
Yeah, I was gonna say just stay away from his political stuff. I mostly just try to watch his like gaming stuff and everything else like that.
I think a lot of that stuff we would be butting heads on, but I can't say that the guy does not approach everything with a very fair outlook. And I've actually seen a lot of these comments where people are saying, well, Asman's bigoted and a racist and a fascist and a Nazi and all these different things. And it's kind of...
Well, it's because he does show a lot more right-wing content. I mean, he shows left-wing content too, but like I'd say he shows a lot more right-wing content, but a lot of that's also got to do with Trump being in office. But at the same time, he's just been going hardcore ever since Trump got into office. Like he really he did political videos when Biden was in office, but it really wasn't like as hardcore until Trump got in there.
Weird because I've been watching him for a pretty long time now, like at least since 2021, and he's made several comments very out in the open that he was a huge Bernie Sanders fan. And if anybody who doesn't know who Bernie Sanders was, he was so liberal when he first ran for office that people pretty much wrote him off as
I was going to say, he even said this all the way up until Trump was actually getting elected into office. I remember him watching a couple of Bernie's speeches and everything about the whole situation.
Socialist. And despite that, I mean, like, people just let the character that he plays up for his chat somehow make him a racist and a fascist, when I think it's the exact opposite. I think at worst, he's just a very rich man who can afford to be insensitive at times.
That's fair. What did you have to say? Oh, you said yeah.
Well, at least
you don't have to be sorry.
Most of the time. And so going back to people's issues with his React content.
Well, yeah, with the ban, yeah, most of the time he has the money to be insensitive, except for that one time that he was really insensitive.
I personally started my own channel doing React
Yeah, and that other guy.
content, so I kind of have mixed opinions on how bad or how good I think React content is. But what I will say is that I feel like despite whatever harm he may have caused, I have seen him get more people partnered on YouTube by
Yeah, I literally just made a video about this also. Like it's not only did he get her on 100,000 subs, I think it's still and counting. I need to go back and check it again. And like her last video that not only did he react to, I reacted to, is almost up to, I think it's 500,000 or like views right now. So like yeah, her channel's just exploding, and she's only got like 9 videos, and it's all because Asmongold's been giving her so much exposure, and so is you think Pata also included her in the video as well.
reacting to their content and giving feedback on their video and giving them a wider audience to show their content in front of, then I have seen him destroy channels. And I would say he honestly has probably done that more than any other creator on the platform.
I mean, I've found like at least 5 or 6 different creators from him. I was gonna say like Bisley. Let me see, the background NPC. I started watching her videos recently. What was it? I think I started watching CoffeeZilla through him. I'm trying to remember if I did or not, or if you started watching him first. Um,
You did the thing on Jake Paul.
that's right. I think that's the big one that made me start watching him. Trying to remember some of the other ones that I ended up actually watching through him also. I know those were 2 of the big ones. Oh, Jimmy also. Yeah, I did watch him through that also. I'm sure if I really get into my subs, there's like 3 or 4 more also. Oh, Pata. I just started watching his videos and everything also through him. I think I keep pronouncing his name wrong. But anyways.
I think people should be more upset that we have larger creators seeing the content of smaller creators inside the creator studio and then taking their massive wealth and like massive following and completely encapsulating some other smaller creator's idea and passing it off as their own. I think that's a way bigger problem than React content. And as I said earlier,
What exactly does it mean by that? I actually want to go back on that.
They're massive. We have larger creators seeing the content of smaller creators inside the creator studio and then taking
this content views on YouTube.
Their massive wealth and like massive following and completely encapsulating some other smaller creator's idea and passing it off as their own. I think that's a way bigger problem than React.
Well, I was gonna say if someone's just straight up stealing ideas, like if someone's like actually committing plagiarism, then that's definitely an issue, and they need to be flagged, and like the channel needs to be taken down. Someone who's just like pausing a video like this and just talking occasionally isn't an issue.
And as I said earlier, I completely get why people don't like content creators. I think there are a lot of content creators, especially on YouTube, who are just really good at scamming kids into watching their videos. But I think we should just...
Well, I guess that's also fair. That's a big problem too. I didn't even think about that. Like this asshole, for example, should never have a platform. I don't know who these guys are or who this dude is, for example, also, though.
Like, acknowledge that
for example,
is unfair. It always has been.
This. I say that word quite a bit.
The big, clear picture of this is that everyone can't make it as a streamer or a YouTuber or a content creator.
And you know what? That's fine. Nobody should actually make videos to try to make it as a content creator. Most of the time, you should just make videos to actually have fun if you want to, like... Most of the reason I do it is because I just want to get my fucking tism rants out of the way. Not make my friends have to suffer at work about them.
Like right now, I'm basically just making videos for fun, right? But I'm also not taking all this creative energy that I have and spending it making hate threads about somebody who has said on camera in 4K that they don't care what people do for money, including himself. And honestly, if his viewers are okay with that, what are we going to do?
I mean, that's fair. It all depends. Like, if you're, like, selling children, that's a whole different story. Like, you should probably stop doing that. But, like, if you're just watching YouTube videos online and, like, talking about them and, like, adding to the discussion and everything, I don't think you're that bad.
do about it. And I think the funny irony in this whole thing is that he is literally siphoning all of the chatters that all the other people who hate on him ban, and therefore he's creating this like,
well, yeah, exactly, that's what I mean. Like, the more people you get to watch you, the more you get to profit off of all those people. Like, they're gonna come there because they know that they can say whatever they want and not get banned, as long as you're not like arguing with him and spamming in the chat. Those are like the two number one things. Well, arguing with him won't necessarily get you banned, just as long as you actually put up a good argument. If you're just being stupid, then you're gonna get banned.
rat spirit bomb, and I hate to call it that,
No,
but
that's
like
exactly what
it's
it
like
is.
this
It's
big
all
rat
the fucking
spirit
gunk
bomb
of the internet
where all
gathering
these
together
people
at once.
are like mad and banning all these people, and then they just go straight to him, and he probably wouldn't even be as big as he is.
Worst part is I've
if
been
you-
banned from so many subreddits, but I still haven't been banned from his, and that should say something, actually.
Everybody wasn't banning everyone just because
The
they
minute
disagree.
I get banned from his, free speech is dead on the internet, 110%.
And really, at the end of it, people should just watch who they want to watch and go about their day. I think
I think the only video also I've ever had taken down off of his subreddit was my Clerics Obscure one, and specifically because it had spoilers in it.
brutal and sad but honest truth is that a lot of us, including myself, would rather be Asmon than drive into work every day.
Honest to God, it'd be like freeing. You could just sit at home all day
Well-
and watch YouTube for like 5 to 6 hours.
Fair though, so I walk out into my fucking garage,
Or
and
I'm
there's
sure he does it closer to like 8 to 12, but
literally a rat sitting there. Like back in the day, they would at least have like the fucking dignity to run away. But he's lived there so long, he didn't even give a fuck about me. He's like,
Hey. Anyway,
Minus the hygiene stuff. Like, seriously, dude, you need to like get some professional help.
bathe.
Like, I genuinely
Just
like.
bathe.
I think you need to get some help. Like that's it's bad. It's bad. And I keep seeing all this stuff where it's like people are trying to pit Hassan and Asmongold
Oh no, that is definitely the cockfight on the internet of the century right now. But either that or Ethan and Hassan.
together as like the two
Yeah,
massive
right.
opposing forces of political content creation. And I'm sorry, I just feel like, if I'm going to be completely blunt, that Hassan is a worse bad actor than Asmon.
Oh,
Because
100%.
while Asmon is like,
At the very least, like, sure, Asmon promotes Trump propaganda nonstop, but like Hassan actually promotes terrorist propaganda. Like, one of these things is like, yeah. I was gonna say, unfortunately, like, one of these things is definitely not like the other. Like, Trump is at least pseudo terrorist propaganda. Like, if we're just gonna straight say it, you can't just straight be saying it.
admitting, again, in 4K on stream, that he's okay with doing anything for money. And that basically he does play up the character sometimes because that's what his chat wants to see. You have somebody like Hassan who is like feigning that they are this like moral virtue signaling amazing person, and they're really, what they're doing is they're farming all these
Farming people for terrorism.
broken people with a lot of these sad stories that we don't really hear about, and using them as a pillar for his own financial gain, which I think is much worse and much disingenuous when you are acting like you actually care about a lot of the things that you say you care about and the communities that you say you care about.
No, he just cares about the dollar bill at the end of the day. That's just straight what it is, because he also gets to sit at home all day and watch videos and just talk about them for like 8 to 12 hours a day, and he just gets to do that and make money, and like, that's the life. Like, why wouldn't you?
So yeah, that's gonna be it for me.
The quickest way to it is political. Like, it seriously is, but like, I just don't want to touch it. That's a whole nother headache I don't want to have to battle.
Today, guys. I know I'm probably gonna
I
get a
have
lot
to battle hard enough to just to be here in the first place.
of hate for this video. I'm not necessarily saying that Asmon's like a super great person or anything, and I'm definitely not saying that, you know, Hassan is the worst person in the world.
He's definitely saying that.
I'm not saying that content creators deserve to be hated. I just think that there's a lot better things that the community could be doing as a whole, instead of like just waiting for the first chance to tear a content creator down unless they've like actually done something wrong. And
Yeah, I was gonna say, if like someone is actually just straight up like downloading someone's or like, for example, if like you straight up like steal someone's script and then do like a 1-for-1 and like edit your own clips into it and like just straight up steal someone's script, like that one, I forget what was that one YouTuber that had like the triangle, like the Illuminati fucking eye, and she was caught like
I think it was something weird like that.
I was gonna say, if you're caught like straight up stealing someone else's work or something like that, like that's a whole entirely different story. But if like you're actually adding to the discussion and trying to like actually like talk about shit and like do more, like also don't straight up make React content. Also make more than just React content. Like make products, like make stuff to sell, like make merch, like hell, I make video games, which is like a huge thing that also like supports the channel, on top of which like I don't even really need to be monetized. I really just need you to just go buy those and I'd be perfectly fine. And like that's all you need to do. Like make videos for fun to like advertise towards like the things you actually want to create and like do as your hobby and everything like that. That's honestly what you should use YouTube for, and like use React content to advertise to those YouTubes and like not YouTubes, to those videos and everything else like that. Like get your personality out there, like add to the discussion of topics that you know about and stuff like that. Like the whole thing acts as like both a like kind of an ad for the original video and an ad for your personality and your take on the entire topic as well. I know
People's
that's like a really
energy
weird
will
way
be
to think
better.
about it, but like that's also kind of how you have to think about it in order to make it online if you want to do this full time. And like I know a lot of people would think that's gross and everything else, but like I guarantee the people that are doing this as a business think about it that way.
Directed at the corporations who are paying these content creators and streamers these massive amounts of money so they can dopamine hijack every second of your life. But that's a topic for another video. But again, thanks guys for watching.
This is
If
a
you like
great video. Everyone should go give this dude a like, give him a sub. I'm gonna check out some of his other videos, see if oh yeah, I already subbed to him and gave him a like. Everyone should also do the same. This was actually a really well put together video. You need to see if he's got any other ones that I actually want to sit down and give a good old watch through. So let's move on. All right, I've actually kind of been ads.
Well, everyone, the inevitable has
Actually been wanting to talk about this. So Sony execs have delayed Marathon indefinitely. This is a W for the fan community. I'm just wondering why, again, they haven't just straight outright hired the person that essentially just made the theme for like, I guess they made almost all the art for Marathon and they still haven't hired this person. Instead, they're just going to try to scrub it clean. And like, if it's been delayed indefinitely, maybe it'll never come out.
Has just happened. PlayStation and Bungie finally admitted what everybody already knew. Marathon is not ready, and it will not release in 3 months.
Well, yeah, obviously you stole art, and now you have to literally scrub all the assets. Of course, it's not going to be ready in time.
Even before
Staff
the
had no
plagiarism
idea.
scandal, even before the alpha test, people doubted the September release date. It just felt wrong. And not just that.
Yeah, there's no way you were going to be able to go through literally, I guess, like even stuff like down to the UI had like stuff that was ripped from this person's like Twitter. So like, how are you actually going to be able to scrub that deep into all of your art assets and everything that fat? Well, we got 3-4 months. I guess they could do it, but like it would take like 3 people, and like they just don't have the pipeline to do that at Bungie. Like they have to get it approved by like 15 different people before they can actually do it.
Out of reflexive hate, this game had been marred in controversy. Bungie had been marred in controversy for years and years, but now the companies are facing reality. After endless streams of concern, they have admitted that the player's voice was, quote, strong and clear.
Through every comment and real-time conversation on social media and Discord, your voice has been strong and clear. We've taken this to heart, and we know we need more time to craft a marathon into a true game that truly reflects your passion. Sorry, just look, it was coming out there. After much discussion within our dev team, we've made this decision to delay to the December 23rd release. Well, yeah, and they haven't given anything like another release date at all. Probably going to get pushed back
The
to
upshot
like
is
after
that Marathon
Christmas.
is now indefinitely delayed. Marathon's reveal 2 months ago started a
all.
fairly unbelievable string of problems. Now, on the surface, the reveal did look slick,
Odds
polished.
stacks against them. That's that's an understatement of the year.
A new art direction, a very
They've got an entire legal team stacked against them, hopefully.
artistically yummy trailer, and yes, a
No!
new entry into the extraction gameplay genre. But
Oh, it seems like they're not going to be a new one anytime soon. Make sure that I'm actually yeah, I think I am.
audiences were immediately divided. Number one, they didn't recognize
Shit.
this new Marathon from the Marathon that they knew from
See, I
decades
never
ago.
heard of the original one at all. And then, like, I was watching shorts of Ko, and he was talking about how, like, I guess it's, like, supposed to be lore disruptive. Like, it's not, like, I guess they're erasing the original lore, like, just by, like, how the art design looked in the first place before, like, actually, like, all the art was found to be plagiarized and everything like that. Well, and I'm looking at it right now. Like, I guess these were supposed to be the ruins that you're diving into and everything, and they don't look like neon futuristic cities. So, like, that's clear as day, just already a retcon right off
This
the
felt
bat.
like quite the miscalculation, but it's one that was compounded on because Bungie wasn't building this game for existing extraction fans.
Yeah, look, yeah, this right here was supposed to be that other, like, background back over there. Like, these are supposed to be these same areas.
We'll certainly get on to
Apparently,
how
I
they
have
felt soon.
no
Now,
actual expertise in that part of it. I never played the original Marathon. I should probably
then
maybe
came
fix
the
that.
closed alpha, the
I really
purely
would do, like, some
American
old
alpha with heavily restricted code.
Like, I played a lot of Doom, and I played some Wolfenstein. I didn't play all the way through Wolfenstein, but I played most of Doom 2. Like, actually Doom 2 on it. Well, in an emulator anyways on my PC. Well, I guess it wouldn't be an emulator. You can just fucking play Doom on any PC. You can play Doom on a toaster if you really wanted to. You can play Doom on a calculator, like, and that's for real.
All despite many people wanting in. Pretty odd. Then the players who did get in, well, they found that something was off. PC players were outraged at mandatory aim assist.
Only going to ruin the PC part of the game. You're just watering down PC. You're making PC and mouse and keyboard players basically feel like shit.
Bungie later removed it. The hero kits were kind of interesting, but
Well, that's fair. I didn't hear about this part.
players were
actually.
outraged at mandatory aim assist.
Only going to ruin the PC part of the
So
game.
it had mandatory aim assist already, so you could just, like, literally, even if you were on PC, just auto aim at someone.
Just watering down PC. You're making PC and mouse and keyboard players basically feel like shit.
Bungie later removed it. The hero kits were kind of interesting, but they didn't feel balanced and they didn't feel fully developed. PvE
See, I
elements
never
did
played
get some-
Marathon at all. I didn't test it when the beta came out and everything like that. So I had, like, little to no experience actually playing the game. So I don't know if it was actually fun or not. I do like playing Dark and Darker. That's, like, the closest actual thing to an extraction shooter I have to play. That I have played anyways. I didn't play any, like, Escape from Tarkov, or I want to play Arc Raiders when it eventually comes out. And I did actually want to play this, but, like, I think it only came out on, I can't remember if the demo was only on PC. I didn't remember seeing it pop up at all on Xbox, but I was probably busy, like, either reviewing another game or doing something else.
praise, but there were missing
Or,
genre
my game, I can't
standards,
remember
and they
exactly
got
what I was
brutalized
when
for
the whole
that.
beta
No
was
solo
on.
mode, no proximity chat. So if you were a
Proximity chat not being an extraction shooter is, like, one of the actual biggest L's ever. The whole point of it is, like, having an actual interaction and the social aspect. You get that both. You can either have that PvP experience or you can have a full-on like friendly experience with someone. Like having that experience where you just run into someone and you're like, oh shit, I don't have any loot, dude. Like, please don't kill me. I just want like to finish my quests and everything. And like they don't kill you. Like, and then like fucking you end up getting like that extra layer of experience on top of it. Like that social aspect of everything is the whole point of extraction shooters. At least I feel like, because like I just feel like going in and just like killing people and then killing enemies nonstop and just get boring nonstop if you just did that.
Hard Extraction fan, this game was really not trying to woo you over, and that was quite strange. It was a game that didn't look like its IP, entering a genre, but
That's one of the giant L's, is like it looks literally like you see that side by side. That's insane.
that was quite
Like,
strange. It was a
and
game
it's not even like it's not 100% colorful. Like you get some like bright orange and some red here. Like this is a little bit toned down green, but then it's got like accented by the dark red in the center, and the gray background is also a little bland, but then you have it accented by the pools of green, and I'm sure there are other like pools of lava and shit like that later on and other things like that. Well, it's
didn't
not
look
like
like
the
its IP,
as
entering a genre,
doesn't pop necessarily. It doesn't look like this either. Like you could probably have found a way to like mix the
but
two.
not
and
specifically
not,
for
well,
players who
definitely could have found a way to do it and like not straight plagiarize someone else's work.
actually like that genre, which, you know, would appear to be quite risky. Now, of course, the Bungie strength is bringing things to new audiences, but the closed nature of the testing meant that casual players, masses of casual players, couldn't discover if they liked the game. And then it got worse. Arc Raiders, another extraction shooter long in development, had a closed beta, and it went viral. If you're wondering why, it's because it had all the features that Marathon didn't.
It's like literally if you fucking at the same time released a pile of dog, like if someone came to you and they were starving and you were like, okay, I'm going to feed them some dog shit,
Plus,
and you were confident in this, and then someone came up with like a 5-star gourmet sandwich, and then they ate the gourmet sandwich and you were shocked. Like, you shouldn't have been shocked. You should have just not shown up with shit.
heap of polishing. And then on top of all of that, the plagiarism hit. An artist accused Bungie of ripping off
Well, not accused. The Bungie straight up did. Like I
her
saw it side
designs.
by
Bungie
side.
reviewed the claim. They admitted that it was true. That
Oh yeah,
specific
that was the other thing. Yeah, Bungie straight up admitted it. So it's not even like
assets were in fact stolen. They promised to make it right with that artist. They blamed somebody who had left during pre-production.
I was gonna say they deserve at least like. I mean, give them a job. Like, do something.
But with the broad years-long narrative going against the studio, especially the studio's leadership, and the specific narrative around Marathon going very bad very fast.
And it's unfortunate that like I believe the content creator actually has to do something legally, because if they don't, then like you can actually set a legal precedent for companies to continue to do something like this.
It was quite brutal. The art director, Joe Cross, really did become public enemy number one for many people, and that meant that when he went on to...
Look at him. He's so upset. Nobody wants a hero shooter. Nobody wants a HUD that glows like the sun. Nobody wants an extraction shooter with all the edges sanded off. Nobody wants a game that plagiarizes its entire art style. Nobody wants a game with 0 unique mechanics. Art Raiders. Oh man, that's a man who probably hasn't slept in like 2 or 3 days because he fucked up. I wonder if he still has a job.
this stream, it was a very awkward situation. The plan had been to show gameplay and discuss
Why were you following the person your former employee stole art from?
Marathon, but, well, they had to do a review of all of their assets.
To prevent similar issues in the future, we are conducting a thorough review of our game assets, specifically those done by former Bungie artists, implementing stricter checks to documents to document all artist contributions. Jesus fucking Christ, I could not get that out. Yes, they are going to do their due diligence this time, for sure. They promise this time.
And with this drama happening, they basically couldn't show any gameplay. That just led to a very awkward, very painful looking stream.
Oh my god, people are going the fuck off. They are popping off. Plagiarism will make me god. Plagiarism. Jesus Christ, like they're starting a cult in the chat.
One where
He's
Bungie staff
so
couldn't say
upset.
anything about
This dude's fucking
Marathon's
cheesy.
development
I don't know
or how
why
they
he
would
would be
fix
at this
this
point.
newest problem, let alone the various other problems. And all of this in a world where Marathon was supposed to launch in September, just months away.
Oh, and it's still coming out. Well, they said it's not now, but like before, it was coming out, guys. They promise. They promise.
Which was never going to happen. Nobody in the public by that stage expected that it would hit its release date, and now the inevitable has thankfully finally happened.
I hope it's happen, and then hopefully when everybody just plays that. I know I'm gonna play it.
Now that we've got the lightning summary of how we got here, let's talk about the delay. So yes, it's delayed. Bungie gave no new release date,
yeah, I was
and in
gonna
this
say,
Bungie.net
I saw the
update,
tweet,
they said
or
they
I
won't
read
even
it,
talk
was
publicly
they're
until
not.
later this fall. So it essentially seems that the old release date is in fact going to be the release date of a potential release date, or perhaps the release date of a potential release window, pending, you know, changes and stuff. And it's also when we're going to get a progress update. And as for the progress that's going on, they outlined changes for 3 core areas that are all designed to address alpha criticism.
That was literally that artist when they fucking cornered that's not an artist cornering Bungie right now and fucking got him.
First, upping the survival game. So they're making the
Well, I guess that's the entire internet having that artist back and then fucking got him.
and PvP more challenging and more rewarding. Second, doubling down on the Marathon universe. Per reports, a 4th map that
Watch them try to just like recreate the art style and just make a brown fucking muddy mess. I think that's what it is.
already was like planned and going to be a thing, would have been set on the actual Marathon, the actual ship, and the PvE part of it would have essentially been a Destiny raid tier puzzle thing. So while it does seem that
Wait. Increasing visual fidelity.
reports, a 4th map that already was like planned and going to be a thing would have been set on the actual Marathon, the actual ship, and the PvE part of it would have essentially been a Destiny raid tier.
So they're saying they already were on it and it's supposed to be like a Destiny raid tier level thing.
Puzzle thing. So while it does seem they always had big, cool stuff like that planned, their framing here focuses more on narrative fidelity, more narrative interaction. They promise.
Well, see, I had actually seen like a short from Pirate Software that originally was talking about that also. Like the entire thing was supposed to actually tell a story over being like an extraction shooter, and that's why they did. Well, it was supposed to be an extraction shooter, but like the whole thing was supposed to be more about telling a story than anything else. And like I don't know why they had to steal art to fucking tell a story, but that's what they had to do. Oh, is it ready?
A darker tone that delivers on the themes of the original trilogy. And if you want to know what that means, I'd highly recommend the Mandalore gaming videos. Third, then, addressing genre complaints. So proximity chat is coming, so are solo and duo
Well,
options.
I was gonna say they really should have known better with proximity chat. That's like the biggest one.
Of course, though, all this lacks detail, which to some will inspire confidence, but I actually do think it's fair. I think they haven't defined all of those details yet, because they evidently have a lot of work to do. Now, Bungie said there will be more closed testing, the alpha participants will return, and I believe they're already sending out more codes now. So, it's a simple and obvious plan. Bring new features, get feedback, then update accordingly, and
Well, okay, so they're not only just gonna scrub for the art, they're also gonna be adding new content and actually try to address
all
feedback.
on a
So they
not
are going to
particularly
try to
firm
actually
public
release
timeline.
it.
Here's the core truth, though.
Even after all the bad PR and everything else, like I just don't see it. being like they're just not gonna make money from it. I don't see even like they say no PR is bad PR, right? But like when you straight up steal art from another artist and your entire like art division, like the lead of your art division has to go on stream and apologize live. I don't see how you can recover from that.
Most of this
Like,
game
genuinely.
will not
It would actually like be an industry first if they recovered from that.
change, right? It's too big.
That would
Too
actually make gaming history. I think we'd all just be simps after that.
much work is already done. Pre-designed characters aren't going anywhere. Neither is the presumed monetization model. But the hope.
This is Box GG, and it is a web.
Well, the hope is that if they can meet the feature demands from the more engaged genre fans, then they'll actually get a bunch of features, like, say, solos, that a lot of people would like anyway, and that if they improve all of the other things, then perhaps everything else will fall into place. So, Bungie's developers are going to have a lot of work
So they really think that if they put it all together, and if they build it, they think they will still come.
to do. They're thankfully going to
That's
get
some
many more
balls.
months to do that work than planned. But here's an interesting detail. According to Paul Tassi's sources,
It's a bold move, Colin. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Bungie's staff found out about the delay at the same time that we did.
Wait, for real? How did they not know it was going to get delayed? If they were like, that just doesn't
I
sound
keep it
right.
secret? Well, presumably I would say to avoid
just
more
doesn't
leaks,
sound right.
because the one thing that's
Yeah.
been a total disaster around this is their public narrative. But
It's delayed when you're working on it.
That's what I was going to say. When you're literally reporting the deadlines, like, how do you not know it's getting delayed?
here's the thing. Even us on the outside who have been paying attention to this closely have very much seen for weeks now that someone at PlayStation had already decided. The reason why is fairly simple. We saw their investor presentation. One thing is
Yeah, I just did that. We had no idea, guys. It wasn't me.
crystal clear. PlayStation is taking Marathon very, very seriously. It filled multiple slides in their recent investor presentation and their fireside chat. They framed Marathon repeatedly as core to next fiscal year.
They PlayStation must have put a lot of money riding on. I mean, it is Bungie, but like they have it up there with everything.
Plans. That means any point between May 2025 and April 2026. So I guess that's your very, very big launch window. And they positioned it as developing IP, right alongside the Ghost series and Astrobot. They also call out strong early engagement for Bungie's bold and innovative new title.
They're still even pushing advertisement for it. Like they must need it to be after Concord. Sony must really fucking need this.
Which is a bloody hilarious statement given all the shit that's happened. But do you notice what they never said? They never said that it launches in September. Bear in mind, this was all weeks.
Oh no, it's not gonna launch in September. Like I said, I'd probably give it like December. Give it like another 3 months, like December, January.
Before the actual delay would be
Probably January when like there's no other games getting released.
announced. And I think this also suggests something important here. When
That's all-
they put
well,
this
no,
together
that's the
for
big release
investors,
window right before
when, say,
Christmas.
studio CEO Herman Hulse
Yeah.
made his comments, that the decision had already been made further up the chain. The evidence? Well, live services and Marathon came up as a standalone question in their pre-recorded chat. And I think it's fair to say that's a chat that is haunted by the ghost of Concord. That's because Hulse's brain...
That's exactly what I thought.
Is Concord the game that was made that did really bad?
The one that was like up for like all of
Okay,
like
was
3
that the one
Oh,
that's-
it died on my birthday. Yeah, I
not the
remember.
one that's gonna come out.
Yeah, it
They
literally
stole
died on my birthday. That was the best day ever.
Concord as, quote, good work.
No, well, not coming out now.
Marathon.
Okay.
That was the one that Bungie's been putting most of their resources in. Like, if you've been purchasing cosmet, like the last 3 expansions I bought you in Destiny was funding Marathon. It was funding them to steal assets from another artist.
Great.
Work and big effort but also insufficiently differentiated. Which, doesn't sound amazing. But most importantly, he said this: "We have reviewed our processes in the light of this, to deeply understand why the title failed to meet expectations, to ensure we're not going to make the same mistakes again."
Well, biggest thing, you make a social game, you add proximity chat, or at least add some kind of voice feature, or some kind of communication feature. Nintendo's been fucking up on this one for years. Another big one, don't steal art. That one's huge. Second off, or third off, actually hire someone to make good character design. Like, just fire everybody on the art team and start hiring people on 4chan and Reddit.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got you.
And
Here's my ads.
now, what are those new processes? Well, we can actually see those in Bungie's delay statement. Holst told investors that PlayStation was excited for release. He described the alpha response in very specific terms. "We're monitoring the closed alpha cycle the team just gone through, and some of that feedback has been varied, but that's super useful. That's why you do testing." You know what, Herman?
Fair point.
Varied is true. It's charitable, but yeah, it's a true way to characterize things. But really what he's doing when he says that is he's selling investors on them making business progress.
They need this to succeed. They must really need this to succeed. Because like he said, they're lining it up with Helldivers and like all their other like pseudo successes that they've had this year. Like trying to get away from Concord and everything else. They don't want another Concord level failure because they'll have so many investors back out.
That as an overall system, Sony are no longer going to do Concords because their systems, the way they run their business, will no longer produce that sort of result. So this tracks. The player engagement...
Okay. Sony, this is a one-on-one with me and you now. You just need to go back and do like Ratchet and Clank. Actually do it good. Do like another Spyro game. Do like a fucking Jack and Daxter game. Do a Sly Cooper game. Just bank on nostalgia nonstop. Nintendo's been doing it for years. Add a little bit of innovative mechanics. Like, add a little bit of spice to the flavor, right? Do it well. And then, like, people will come. Just stop doing this. This is not investor safe.
The idea also resonates here. He talks as well about the validation of assumptions from developers, about test, iterate, test again. And if that sounds familiar, well, that's exactly how Bungie are introducing updates, testing features as they're ready. And throughout the presentation, which we'll dive into more later because, it's a very interesting one theme keeps on emerging, and that's PlayStation leadership being more involved in game release decisions and more involved in development reviews. Why? Well, it's fucking obvious, because they won't let studios take risks like Concord did.
Sorry, I want to back that up a little bit.
Reviews. Why? Well, it's fucking obvious. As they're ready. And throughout the presentation, which we'll dive into more later because, it's a very interesting one theme keeps on emerging, and that's PlayStation leadership being more involved in game release decisions and more involved in development reviews. Why? Well, it's fucking obvious, because they won't let studios take risks like Concord did.
I was going to say, I don't know what they were thinking with that. I don't even think that was a risk. I think that was such a safe decision that, it was way too safe. Like, the character designs was probably the only risk they actually took. Everything else about it was, like, super safe. It was a fucking hero shooter that didn't play well. That as well. It also,
We
from
recently
what I
praised
understand,
Helldivers for
they were-
good live
I
service
never
design
played it.
over
I
monetization.
wasn't one of the
Basically,
people that
they
played
kind of got FOMO right by making a live service feel live in a way that made sense for the video game bit, not just the business bit. And it seems that video really resonated with you guys. Holy shit, it exploded. Here's the flip side then. In this presentation, we learned that 54% of Helldivers' revenue comes from microtransactions, from the
Which that
3.6
makes
million
sense.
monthly.
They want. Oh shit, that's gonna be fun.
This may be the last ad you ever see, because with the free ad block extension,
I need to actually get that. Apparently, we weren't done here.
It's just, diverse in terms of one is alive, one is dead, some are. Revenue comes from microtransactions, from the 3.6
But like I
million.
said, Helldivers makes sense. Like, it's an online all the time game. It's a live service game. It makes sense that it makes most of their stuff from like microtransactions. I don't know why they cut it off from like 90% of the world. That was also another dumb business decision. Sony just seems like they just want to like delete money apparently.
Million monthly players. That success, their first non-MLB live service, basically made PlayStation adamant that they can do it again, that they need to do it again. Investors obviously love the potential here, and that's why, quote, they remain very committed to building a diverse and resilient live service portfolio. Of course, it is diverse. At the minute, it's just,
A lot of shooters, honestly. It's really not. Well, we got baseball, shooter. What the fuck even is that? Far games.
Diverse
Like-
in terms of one is alive, one is dead,
I mean, like
some
that
are
also.
successful, others are killed in the cradle. Which is not
That
exactly the type
also.
of diverse they're really aiming for. The point, though, is very clear that Helldivers shows, and again I quote, the level of success we achieve if we get everything right. That's obviously.
If you have a good theme, good gameplay, a good. Well, I mean, I guess a premise is a part of the theme. You have decent advertising. You don't steal the art. You fucking, like, you just make a good game and they will come eventually. I've made plenty of good games. I just suck at the actual marketing part. That's why I say marketing is a big part of it, but like stealing art is not good marketing.
what they're shooting
Like doing
for.
an apology
So now,
live stream is
they're
not
doing
good
everything that they
marketing.
can to get it
Actually, the
right,
opposite.
because Marathon
Oh,
is
you
their
think it's great
immediate
marketing?
future. There is the other
Yeah,
game,
sounds like a great
Fair
idea,
Games,
right? Like,
that
I
is
should do
still
an
listed
apology
as
stream.
upcoming. And that's especially
Probably
relevant
sell
after
plenty of
Jade
copies
Raymond
still,
left
fuck.
Haven Studio, apparently after poor internal testing.
Probably feels so great afterwards. They'll go
I
make money
suppose they'll
from
be
it.
doing more iteration of that one as well. But overall, the live services will continue. Whether that's from partners like Arc System Works or doing a Marvel game, or internal teams like
Oh,
Bungie.
is that a Marvel fighting game? Wait a minute. Oh, that's badass. But wait a minute, I didn't hear about this. Wait a minute. Comes several weeks after.
It has a broken chain on them.
What do you mean?
The design's a broken chain.
Oh,
Political move?
oh yeah.
Internal testing. So I suppose they'll be doing more iteration of that one as well. But overall, the live services will continue. Whether that's from partners like Arc System Works or doing a Marvel game, or internal teams
That's
like
gonna be
Bungie.
so much
Because
fucking
basically,
fun. I'm gonna actually play the shit out of that. I love Arc System Works, and I love fighting games, and I love Marvel. So that is literally like my
even though
wet dream.
Concord was a big failure,
Dragon Ball
there's
Fighter.
simply
my wet
too
dream
much
also.
potential for another Helldivers in their view.
Ooh,
So
I'm
here's
actually
why,
excited
to
for that. I
them,
need to go,
Marathon
check
won't
out
be
a
another
couple
Concord.
trailers for that.
Let's compare. Concord was revealed, it had poor reactions, poor beta response, then it was released anyway, and obviously it completely crashed and burned.
Well, I was gonna say they need this to not be Concord too, because if they do, investors are gonna back out en masse, and like that's a more than obvious. So they're going to continue forward. That's why they did the apology live stream in the first place, and they're doing so much backlash PR. They wanted this to never get out in the first place. I just don't know why they thought they were going to get away with stealing their art. I genuinely don't know.
Marathon then is not Concord. It's literally playing out in a different way. Sony are taking different actions. And we do know that significant audience interest...
Well, I was going to say, Concord, for as shit as it was, nobody's like, hey, that's my design. Like, everyone was trying to get as far away from those designs as possible. Like, nobody was like, hey, that's mine. Like, people were actively trying to be like, I had nothing to do with that. Please don't, like, yeah, please get that ink away from me.
Exists. Not all of it is good, but at least that region-locked alpha did appear to have a lot of people wanting keys. The thing, though, is, for you and me as enthusiasts, Bungie's name isn't really what it used to be. But at least how Sony will see this is that a new Bungie game will probably attract sales regardless, even if it's just from the promise of a new...
Honestly, people will still probably play it just to see if they actually scrub the art out and everything else, like that alone. And like also like they said, it's another Bungie game, and I'm sure there's people like out there that'll have never even heard about any of this controversy in the first place.
New game from the makers of Halo and Destiny.
That also.
Now, again, as enthusiasts, those things may not mean that much to us. And we, having followed all the drama, will be very skeptical. They know that they're PlayStation. They're absolutely mass market, and something like this could go big. And because they've realized what they actually...
Well, I was going to say, they know that they're on the precipice of something. They just see this as a road bump, and they want everyone else to see it as that also.
Can do. Ensure no crazy launch failure surprise. It's not that Marathon can't be Concord. If it was going to release in September, it very much could have been. It's far more that, with a delay like this, PlayStation won't let Marathon be a Concord.
No, they're going to keep that shit on life support as long as they can until they can actually release it, and then milk everybody who actually jumps on it for as much cash as they can through the marketplace.
Two failures like that in a row, especially with fair games looking a little bit rocky, obviously that would kill confidence. They need to show to everyone that they will not be a Concord because they have learned. The only question is whether Bungie will deliver, or perhaps in a deeper sense, if Bungie even can deliver, given how much of a hard time that studio has had to endure. And if it does fail, I have one prediction. I predict that Herman Hulst will not say that powerful people are out to get him and are paying for negative reviews. That may seem like a random prediction, but it is in fact based on what you'll learn.
They paid our haters. It's on one of his other videos, gotcha. But anyways, that was a good video. Definitely give it a like. Yeah, no, they need that game to survive. Like, they're going to keep it on life support as long as they can in the background. They'll even probably maybe even release something else to, like, get people's eye away from it in the meantime before they actually release it. So that way, like, they'll, like, drop it like how Congress drops, like, a bill. How they, like, drop, like, a very controversial bill and then drop something that's, like, truly insidious behind the scenes. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's it for that video also, and I think that's it for me.